Right, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Akeem and welcome to today's vlog. Here to give you a preview of week 6 of the 2015 college football season. It's time for me to give you my key matches and predictions for this week. Start with tonight's matchup between Washington at number 17 USC. Now the Trojans only have one defeat to stand for a couple of weeks ago, 41-31. Now for Washington, they're still in the rebuilding process as a team and they still are struggling on both sides just a little bit. I'm going to have to go with USC in this one. This Trojans team has a lot of speed on both sides, particularly with their offensive weapons with Juju Smith and Trey Manning. And let's not forget about star quarterback Cody Kessler. Next up, the Red River rivalry between number 10 OU and my precious Texas Longhorns. Now, Texas has been looking terrible this year. Only one win against Rice, but then they've been getting crushed, particularly last week to TCU, 50-7. They cannot get anything going offensively. Defensively, have been the struggles mainly because of the poor play offensively, putting the defense back on the field, tiring them out. Now for OU, they are undefeated and they have been looking good this season, and they had an impressive win last week against West Virginia, 44-24. I'm gonna have to go with the Sooners in this one. Even though they are my precious Longhorns, they're not looking too good, and like I said, I'm still a college football analyst and I'm here to give you the truth. I believe that my Longhorns are going to get spanked in this one against the Sooners unless they can turn things around and try to pull off a miraculous upset. The next game I need to talk about is between Indiana at Penn State in Beaver Stadium. This is going to be a good game for you guys to watch because Indiana is a good team. They had a close loss last week at home against the Ohio State Buckeyes, 34-27. They have a good ground attack with Jordan Howard leading the way. Now for Penn State, they started off their season with a terrible loss against the Temple Owls, actually giving up 10 sacks in that one. Now offensively, they're still struggling, but as a team, they turn things around, going undefeated in the next 4 games. This is going to be a close one, but I'm going to have to go with Indiana in this one. I believe that this good ground attack for the Hoosiers, I think they're going to outbid and tire things out for the Penn State defense. Now, let's not forget about their quarterback, Nate Sulford. He's actually doing a pretty good job throwing the football for the Hoosiers, leading the way. This should be a good matchup, and because of the fact that Temple did a good job running the football against the Nittany Lions in week 1, I think that Indiana's going to do the same. I'm going to have to go with the Hoosiers over the Nittany Lions. Next up, 4-1 Illinois at undefeated number 22 Iowa. Now, the Hawkeyes pulled off a great defensive effort last week, holding the Wisconsin Badgers to just 6 points, winning 10-6. That was a great match, but now they're at home in a good homecoming game for them. I'm going to have to go with the Hawkeyes in this one, but this could be an upset alert. Westland has been doing a good job at quarterback for the fighting the 9-9. 8 tackles to just 2 interceptions this season, but I'm going to have to go with the Hawkeyes because they've been doing a great job defensively. Next up, number 7, LSU is going to be traveling to South Carolina. South Carolina already has a couple losses in SEC play. This is an easy one for me. I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette and the Tigers. Fournette should have another good matchup. I don't think he's going to have another 200-yard game, but at least 150 in this matchup. Next up, another great running back, Nick Chubb, and the Georgia Bulldogs is going to be playing at Tennessee. Now, the Vols are already out of SEC conference championship play because of their loss last week, their second loss in SEC play to the Arkansas Razorbacks, so they're out, and they're looking to take the Georgia Bulldogs out as well, just to get a little bit of revenge and try to spruce up the season coming towards the end of the year. Now I'm gonna have to go with the Bulldogs in this one. Last week, Alex Collins did a good job running the football against the Vols, and I think that Nick Chubb is going to be leading the way at running back again in this matchup. I think he's going to be due for another 100-yard game for the Bulldogs. Next up, undefeated Navy is going to be going to South Bend to face number 15 Notre Dame. Now the Fighting Irish had a great win at home against Georgia Tech in their triple option, and I'm looking at doing the same thing, stopping quarterback Keenan Rebels and the midshipmen. I'm going to have to go with the Fighting Irish over the midshipmen. Next up, number 13 Northwestern at number 18 Michigan. Now this was a nominee for the game of the week, as Northwestern is undefeated while Michigan only suffered their lone defeat in the first week of the season against the Utah Utes, who's ranked 5th overall in the country. Now Coach Jim Harbaugh's doing a great job, but I think the key in this matchup is the battle between quarterbacks Jake Rudock of Michigan and Clayton Thorson from Northwestern. Now Jake Rudock's going to have to be playing playing without their star running back, Devion Smith, who's out with an injury, which means Ty Isaac and Derek Green is going to be splitting carries in this one. But I'm going to have to go with Northwestern in this game. Pat Fitzgerald's been doing a great job this season, finally getting a great year for this Wildcat team, doing a great job with their efforts defensively, and they have a pretty good, tough running back in Justin Jackson who can wear a defense down. Next up, Arkansas is going to be traveling to Tuscaloosa to face the Alabama Crimson Tide, who's ranked 8th in the nation. Now, Arkansas did come off of a close win at Tennessee, 24-20, to stay alive in the SEC West, but they already suffered defeat against the Aggies of Texas A&M, and I think they're going to get their second loss against Alabama. They had a big win last week, crushing the Georgia Bulldogs, and I think that Derrick Henry is going to be due for another good game, leading the ground attack for the Tide, and this Tide defense been doing a great job committing a couple of turnovers, forcing turnovers, and getting their offense back on the field for high scores. I'm going to have to go with the Crimson Tide over the Razorbacks in this one. Next up, Oklahoma State is going to be traveling to West Virginia to face the Mountaineers. Now, the Mountaineers did suffer their first defeat last week 44-24 to OU. I mentioned that earlier in this video, but this is going to be a pretty good matchup because Oklahoma State has been escaping some wins for the past couple of weeks. They did get lucky against my Texas Longhorns in their 30-27 victory, and then last week they came close with a victory over Kansas State, 36-34. I think their luck is going to run out with their first defeat. I think they're going to have the first defeat to this Mountaineer team. Next up, number 2 TCU is going to be playing against Kansas State. Now, TCU has a tough second half of this season. They do have to worry about West Virginia, and at the end of the year, then later on against Oklahoma State, and then at the end of the year against Baylor and Oklahoma. They're going to have a tough Big 12 schedule in this second half, and this is going to be a good warm-up for this team, and I think this is a good Kansas State team, but I'm going to have to go with the Horned Frogs in this one. They are in the mission to make it to the college football playoff come towards the end of the season, but they do have the tough second half schedule. Next up, number 11 Florida at unranked Missouri. Missouri did have the defeat against Kentucky, 21-13, but they can pull off this upset. They are 4-1. Let's not forget about that. And they were on back-to-back SEC East champs, making it to the SEC championship. But the Florida Gators had a big-time win against then number 3 Ole Miss at the Swamp. Starting to believe in this team. Ben, I'm going to give you a shout out. Your team has been doing a great job. I think there's no way they're going to lose to Missouri. Missouri can't pull off the upset, but looking like this Florida Gator team is very hungry, and I believe that they should be a top 10 team because of their big win against Ole Miss. Next up, the U is going to be playing against number 12 Florida State. This game is going to be played at Tallahassee. This is going to be a good in-state rivalry. We have been seeing some great games between Miami and Florida State, but Miami has been struggling. Brad Kai is still having a little bit of decent sophomore year, but a little bit of a sophomore slump. I think that the FSU defense is going to rebound their performance last week against Wake Forest. I'm going to have to go with the Noles over the Canes. And last but not least, my game of the week, as number 23 Cal is going to be traveling to Utah to face number 5 Utah Utes. This is going to be a great Pac-12 showdown. Both these teams are undefeated, and they're looking to stay alive and make it to the college football playoff. Now, Utah, I do not think they should be ranked 5th overall, but they have been doing great this season, especially with their huge wins, over 60 points at Eugene over the Oregon Ducks. Now, for Cal, they are undefeated, and they do deserve a top 25 ranking. They've been doing a great job with quarterback Jared Goff, who has 14 touchdown passes and just 4 or 5 picks. He's been doing a great job, over 1,600 yards in the air, and he is the top quarterback in many people's draft boards for the 2016 NFL Draft. But they did have some close victories against Texas, and then even last week against Washington State. Nobody saw that coming. They won 34-28. Now, for Utah, they don't really have any huge, sexy players, but they play a great as a team, and I think this is a great team. Now, they don't really have any big-time pass rushers like they had Nate Orchard last season, but they do a great job in the defensive line to compress the line of scrimmage and cause problems in that line of scrimmage. I think this is going to be key for the offensive line for Cal to do a great job blocking for quarterback Jared Goff. This is going to be an interesting showdown. A good X factor in this game is Kalafani Muhammad, the running back for the Bears, who is is averaging 9 yards per carry. I think he's going to try to have a big home run game or touchdown in this matchup. But this Utah defense has been doing a great job, and Travis Wilson has actually been doing better than I expected this year. And Devontae Booker, he's still a good running back, but he is not the same running back that we saw last season. He shined a lot, in my opinion, last season. I thought he was going to explode this year, but Travis Wilson definitely stepped up as an overall leader for this team. This is going to be a close matchup, but because of the fact that Cal had many close games, including against my Longhorns, I'm going to have to go with the Utes in this one, and they do have the home field advantage to remain undefeated and continue to be a top 5 team of college football. Now, the next time to catch you guys will be in Tuesday morning, where I will give you a recap of Week 6. Thank you for watching today's vlog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.